The R3D modeling engine by Andrew Hoadley is built entirely from the 2D draw functions that you've seen in the previous tutorial. And it demonstrates some of the really powerful ability of draw, and it's also a fantastically usable 3D module. And again, this is built entirely from Rebol draw commands, so it does not require any other modules to be installed on your machine. This runs on any system that Rebol runs on, so Windows, Mac, or Linux, or any of the other systems where Rebol is available. It doesn't require OpenGL or anything of this sort. And what this little module does is it lets you create various shapes like cubes and that sort of thing, and it affects the lighting as is appropriate. It lets you deal with these objects in a 3D view. And it also allows you to adjust the camera angles, the angles at which you're seeing the objects in this little 3D world. It's a very, very simple and powerful 3D module that really lets you do most of the things that you would want to do with 3D. A couple examples here. This one again uses some blocks, but also puts in some text and creates a graph that you can spin around and work within a 3D world. Demonstrates how you can actually do something functional with the 3D objects. And this example shows an image that's loaded in a certain format, and it can let you adjust that image and all the items in it using that standard format. And again, it lets you move things around. And the module itself is a very small bit of code. This is a version of the entire engine. It's only a few pages long. You have to copy and paste this into any application that you want to use 3D in. This is again created with the binary embedder that you've seen earlier in the tutorial. So a couple pages here. And in any program that you want to do 3D, you're going to need to include that module. You can also, for example, do it from a script on the hard drive or download it. To put the module to use, here's a short example that demonstrates all you need to really know to start using it. This is going to give us a box that we can move around and demonstrate actually all the values that are created by the module. What this module actually does is it creates all the draw functions that are needed to create these items on screen. We start with some camera positions and initial values. The X, Y, and Z values are all set the same. And it's in this update function that actually all of the 3D code is taking place. And we create a world, and in that world, in this example, we're going to use the cube model that's built into the R3D module. Create a red cube. These are function words that are defined inside the R3D module, and then we're going to create a camera variable that uses the initial positions, and it's actually in this render triangles variable that each of the actual drawing shapes are rendered. And again, the render word is built into the R3D module. That's one of the built-in words in that module. And we're going to update this world. Again, the R3D-perspective is built into the Rebol or the R3D module. And here, this is not essential. We're just including this so that you can see what draw commands are actually being created by the R3D module. So there's a couple new words to learn: cube model and R3D scale. You'll see if you look at the actual code for R3D that there are a number of functions that start with the letters R3D dash something, and you need to learn those those words and see by example how they're actually used to create items. If you want to learn how to use this module, those are the new words that need to get learned, the new function words. And down at the bottom is basically our typical GUI layout. We're creating a draw block, again with a box, as you've seen in the previous examples, a black box. And here we're drawing the render triangles. And what's happening, again, the render triangles is created by our 3D module that's creating all the shapes that we need for a 3D model. And across the bottom of this GUI we have a couple sliders that actually adjust each of those values. So we're updating the we run that update function, and then we show again the screen, which is going to change the render triangles values, which is going to create new draw shapes. Paste this into Rebol, and see it creates for us a box. And every time we move it, now you can see what's actually happening. It's creating a triangle with a certain fill pen, certain lightness and darkness. And if you watch, as this thing is moved around, it adjusts the lighting, and the R3D module takes care of all of that logic. As it moves out of the light, it makes it darker. And it also takes care of the actual drawing of all those shapes. It's very simple to use. It'll create the cube for us if we want to create a cube. It has other shapes that we can use, and it positions everything as we need. So there's very little code for us to have to do to create these 3D type objects. You take that probe away, and it would get rid of all that information that it was displaying. But that's helpful to understand what's actually going on under the hood.